I greet you all and welcome you back to the lesson. The subject is corporate governance and ethics. We continue with the chapter on internal corporate documents. In our today's lesson, we focus on board charter and board manual. Board manual and board charter. Now, these two are internal corporate documents that guide the operations and governance of a company's board of directors. And while they are internal documents, they are often shared with the stakeholders to demonstrate the company's commitment to good corporate governance. So let's begin with the board charter. Board charter. The board charter. What is a board charter? Now, a board charter is a high-level document that outlines the board's roles, responsibilities, and authority within the company. It is essentially a framework for the board's decisions, for the board's operations, providing a clear understanding of the purpose of the board and how the board functions. What are the elements? What are the key elements in a board charter? Now, within a board charter, you'll find clearly defined purpose and role of the board. Purpose and role of the board. The purpose and role of the board must be clearly defined in the board charter. The primary responsibilities, such as setting strategic direction, overseeing management, and ensuring accountability, those are the key roles of a board, and it has to be contained in a board charter. 2, composition of the board and the structure of the board. Composition and structure of the board. A board charter outlines the desired size and the composition of the board. The desired 1, size, and 2, the composition of the board, including the mix of the executive and the non-executive directors, as well as any diversity considerations. That has to be clearly indicated within a board charter. Composition and structure. 3, board committees. Board committees. The board charter has to describe the roles and responsibilities of various board committees, such as the audit committee, the remuneration committee, the nomination committee, and so on. Risk management committee. All the responsibilities of such committees must be clearly described within a board charter. 4, meetings and procedures. Meetings and procedures. The board charter specifies the frequency and format of board meetings. Frequency and format of board meetings, the desired or decision-making processes, and also the communication protocols. Meetings. How often does the board meet? What is the structure of the meetings? What is the procedure when it comes to meetings of the board? What is the communication protocols within the board? That has to be clearly stated in a board charter. 5, Code of conduct. Code of conduct. A board charter establishes ethical standards and expectations for board members' behavior. 6. Performance evaluation. Performance evaluation. A board charter details the process of evaluating the board's performance and evaluating the effectiveness of the board. The effectiveness of the board has to be evaluated. The performance of the board has to be evaluated. The details of such evaluation has to be contained in a board charter. So candidates, a board charter, I've said, is a high-level internal corporate document that outlines the roles, the responsibilities, and authorities of the board within the company. It is the framework for board's operations. So anything to do with the way the board has to operate has to be contained within a board charter, and that includes the purpose and role of the board, number 1. Number 2, the composition of the board. Number 3, the board committees. Number 4, meetings and procedures. 5, the conduct of the code of conduct, and lastly, the performance evaluation. So that is board charter. A board charter. Board charter. Let us move on to the board manual. Board manual. What is a board manual? What is a board manual? Now, a board manual is a more detailed document that expands on the principles outlined in the board charter. Board charter has principles, but a board manual expands on the board charter. It provides a practical guidance on how the board should carry out its duties and responsibilities. It's more detailed than the board charter. It expounds on the provisions of the board charter. And here are the elements. The elements of a board manual. We have board policies, number 1. Board policies. These are detailed policies on various aspects of board governance, such as conflict of interest, related party transactions, and confidentiality. Number 2 is board procedures. Board procedures. Board procedures, these are step-by-step procedures for conducting board meetings, preparing agendas, making decisions, and so on. Board procedures. The board charter also has what we call the committee charter. Committee. Contained within the board manual is a committee charters. Now, charters for each board committee has to be outlined within the board manual. That is to say, a board manual details charters for each board committee, outlining their specific roles, responsibilities, and the membership. 4, reference materials. These are relevant laws, relevant regulations, industry guidelines that the board should be aware of. All the details regarding the industry, regarding the laws, within the relevant laws that the company has to adhere to, must be contained in a board manual. 5. Training and development. Training and development. Training and development. These are resources for board members, ongoing education and development. Ongoing. So these are 5 key elements of a board manual. Now, what's the importance of both board manual and board charter? Importance of both board manual and board charter. Number 1 is clarity and guidance. Provides clarity and guidance. Clarity and guidance. They provide clarity and guidance to board members on their roles and responsibilities, ensuring a consistent and effective approach to governance. Number 2, good governance. Good governance. These two provide or promote good corporate governance practices, enhancing the company's reputation and credibility. 3, transparency and accountability. Transparency and accountability. The board manual and charter demonstrate transparency and accountability to shareholders and other stakeholders. Then lastly, risk management. Risk management. A board charter and manual help identify and mitigate potential risks to the company by establishing clear procedures and guidelines. So these are 4 reasons why it's important for a company to have a board manual and a board charter. And that effectively brings the lesson to an end. I'll read to you today's assignment. Board manual and board charter. 1. What are the primary duties and responsibilities outlined in the board manual for board members? 2. How does the board charter define the relationship between the board and executive management? 3. What processes are established in the board manual for the selection and evaluation of board members? 4. What specific committees are detailed in the board and what are their roles? 5. How does the board manual address conflicts of interest for board members? Thank you for attending the lesson. Bye.